Hello, good evening. Welcome to the BiochemSerye channel live stream entitled Studying Biochemistry the Smart Way, increasing your chances of passing, not only passing, maybe passing with flying colors by chemistry in med school. Thank you, first of all, from the bottom of my heart. I would like to thank you, everyone, for dropping by. Um, Hopefully, it is my aim, okay, that most of you I hope most of your students will gain insights to study smarter, not harder and longer. Kasi you learn in med school, it's not in the amount of time that you put into a subject. Meaning that if you study the hardest and study the longest, you'll get the highest grades, no, and you'll pass. That's it's not always a guarantee. Okay, so what you expect later is we're going to give general studying tips. Okay, that you might apply to some other subjects like anatomy, physiology, and into your later subjects in second year and third year. But siguro this is what you're waiting for. We're going to zoom in on specific biochem tips as well. Okay, and disclaimer, disclaimer, everyone, guys. This is not a warranty. This is not a guarantee that all of you will automatically pass if once you watch this. Okay, so maybe get the best practices and apply it accordingly. Okay, so by the way, let me introduce myself. Okay, I am Dr. Noel Martin Bautista. No, I'm called shortly Doc Bao. I used to teach biochemistry. No, I'm an associate professor in the Department of Biochemistry at UST. I have taught biochemistry for 25 years and I retired last month. Okay. Although I'm not teaching anymore in classes, okay, I reactivated an old YouTube channel of mine, no, BiochemSerye, where I am curating lecture topics. Okay. I have video uploaded. I think I have around 30 plus videos already. Okay, and it's my aim to make topics. No, biochemistry. I know. No, I know. I've been there. Okay, biochemistry is one of the most feared subjects, right? Most feared subjects in med school. So hopefully, I'm taking some effort, to make this lecture topic simpler and hopefully more understandable. And just like this, this is my our second live stream. No, I am conducting live stream on certain topics, no, lighter topics like this. No, hopefully, I'm going to think of many other topics as well. And what I plan is to do live stream reviews. No, we're going to study together or do reviews. Um, I'm thinking of doing reviewing ionic properties of amino acids and amino acids, no, titration of amino acids. I think that's a Waterloo of most students, and maybe some controversial topics as well. Okay, so I have introduced myself and I have introduced my channel. Hello, welcome again to my channel, BiochemSerye. But enough of me, enough of my guests. So enough of me, enough of my channel. I think it's time to introduce an illustrious, group of guests. No, two of them have been very, very close friends of mine. No? We belong to the same department. And the third, pumayag siya, no? Was a former student of mine, and now I think I can call a friend. Okay, so let me let me change this. Okay, so okay, here are our guests. Sige, the first guest is a practicing anesthesiologist. Okay, she is presently the head of the USC Faculty of Medicine and Surgery Life Support Training Center. She's a mother of three, mother of three, queen of dance. I will always call her queen of dance because she's the advisor of the Terpsichorean Circle. And she graduated USC Medicine 1987. Okay, and she graduated, guys. Take notice. Okay, she graduated summa cum laude with biochemistry as course lang naman. Okay, and now presently she's an associate professor teaching biochemistry. Okay, teaching biochemistry in the USC Medicine and Surgery. Guys, can we give a big round of applause to Dr. I sorry. Okay, to
Hello.
Doctora Mary Ruby Josephine Dytuco-Tiongson, MD. Okay, a diplomate of your Philippine Board of Anesthesiologists and, sorry, I forgot to mention, a fellow of your Philippine Association of Academic Biochemists. Good evening, Ruby. Thank you very much for
Hi, good
coming.
evening. Yes, this is indeed This is an honor for me, actually, my friend.
Ako din, medyo nina-nervous pa ang second live stream. Anyway, guys, just include, just bear with us, ha? Just bear with us.
Oo.
Parang sabi ko nga, Ruby, parang lang tayo nagkakwentuhan. Anyway,
Oo
no?
nga
But
eh.
we'll just speak from our heart. Okay? We'll just speak from our heart. And sabi ko nga, paano kung walang manood? Miski isa lang, makatulong lang tayo sa isang estudyante, it will be all worth it. Right? Right, Ruby?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, right. That's
Anyway,
right.
sige, thank you
Oo.
for coming. Okay. Our second guest. Our second guest is a very, very good close friend of mine. Okay, actually, so abroad. Okay, he's an one of the top notch. Okay, 5-star
Oh, yeah.
endocrinologist. Okay, he has a YouTube channel. YouTube channel. Doc Eric, you can introduce that later. Okay, it's a fast growing YouTube channel. No more than 100 subscribers in a day. Okay, gulat ako. Ingit ako anyway. Okay, he graduated, he's a member of the USC Medicine batch of 2008. Mahina lang naman tong friend ko, no? Magna cum laude. Took the boards, ayaw niya pa sabi to, pero I couldn't resist it. Took the boards in 2009 and placed, mahina siya. Second place, second place, graduated USC Biology, 2004. Okay, ito ang haba-haba ng numbers, ng letters niya, no? So he's a doctor, he has a master's in business administration with specialization in health. He's a fellow of the Philippine College of Physicians. Tama ba, Doc Eric? You correct me later on. Ito, napakahaba, no? It took me 2 weeks to memorize this. A fellow of the Philippine Society of Endocrinology, Diabetes and Metabolism. Did I get it right? And a fellow of the Philippine Association of Academic Biochemists. Okay. Presently, presently, he's a staff also of the Department of Biochemistry, Molecular Biology, and Nutrition at USC Medicine, and a staff member of the Faculty of the UP Management and Development Studies. Okay, so can we give a big BiochemSerye applause to a good friend of mine, Dr. Erick S. Mendoza. Sige, Eric. Ay, Eric, you're muted. Taka.
Good evening, Doc Bao, and to all our audience this evening. So this is something new, something exciting and refreshing. Biochemistry at night. Parang this is the first time we had this on this time slot. Kasi usually our SGD, our lecture, either morning or afternoon. Pero I'm so excited to be here, of course, with Dr. Ruby. And it brings back good memories ng kwentuhan sa staff room. And I think you will feel it tonight in our session. Thank you so much for inviting.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doc Eric. Okay, so what do you call your YouTube channel? E-Health by
I don't want to promote muna.
Hindi. Okay. Hindi, pero
for patients. So ito muna.
Pero meron kang live streaming ka on very very interesting topics like brown rice versus white rice, di ba? Tapos yung 3-in-1 coffee. I followed you, Brad. Okay? Anyway, sige. So, ganito yan. We have 2 professors, okay? So, we're going to talk. I was a former professor as well, no? So, all of our insights might be coming from the teaching side, okay? So, siguro to get a complete picture, we brainstormed over this, and we decided that we need an insight from someone who have been there and done that. Okay, so I invited somebody who's in second year. No, he's a sophomore at USC Medicine. Okay, and he just finished. No, he just got through biochem, I think, with flying colors. No, I know, and he got an award in the nutrition festival, I think. If I remember. Okay, he was a student of mine in our SGD, I think twice yata eh. So let me introduce. Now wait, sorry. Wait. Okay, let me introduce our next guest. Okay, from our student side. Our student side. He is a future doctor, Ramoncito Gabriel Ocampo Paragas. Okay, graduate as a member of the USC Medicine Batch 2024. Okay. Graduated from USC Faculty of Pharmacy in 2015. He took his master's in public health at UP Manila College of Public Health, graduating in 2019. And teaching is not he's not a stranger to teaching. Okay, so he's coming, bali, ang insight niya is from both as a teacher and as a student now, and a former student of biochemistry last year. Okay, he thought pharmacology and he's taking pharmacology subject now. So I'm sure marami siya kaibigan. Okay, thought microbiology, clinical pharmacy, and organic medicinal chemistry, and now, and we talk about this, no, he's an advocate for student academic development, no. So being a student in med school is not only pure academics, no. So that's my advice as well to students, eh. Okay, if you double in what you enjoy. He's the local officer for medical education of the Asian Medical Students Association, UST. So guys, can we put our hands together? Wait, okay. Hindi ko pala masyadong gamay ito. Okay. So, can we put our hands together and and give a big welcome to Ramoncito Gabriel Ocampo Paragas. Okay. So, Gab, maybe you can say some words.
Hello, good evening everyone. Gandang gabi po sa lahat po ng nanonood ngayon. It's an honor, Doc Bao, to be invited in your YouTube channel and to also talk about biochem, something that is very, very dear to the hearts of pharmacists. And also po, good evening din po sa mga fellow guests ko po na feeling ko po mag-SGD tayo ngayong gabi. dahil ano po, mga naging facilitators ko din po kayo sa Biochem sa UST. Magandang gabi po.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gab. So I'm really elated that you said yes, no, in such short notice. Di ba? I invited you, I think, in Tuesday, no. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much, Dr. Ruby and Eric. Teka, nakamute si ano. Anyway. Ayan.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, sorry. Dr. Ruby, Dr. Eric, and Gab. Okay, so I've introduced myself, no. I've introduced the channel and I've introduced the topic, no, studying biochemistry the smart way. Okay, hopefully to pass it, no, to not only to pass it and maybe to excel in it as well. So what is our format, no? What is our format? Oh, usually pag ganito, the usual format is we have three guests, so they will be given, for example, 10-15 minutes to talk, right? And the next, para siyang para siyang postgraduate course. No, we will not do it that way. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do it interactive. Okay, this is not a postgraduate course. No, this is not a lecture, children. This is not a lecture. This will be purely interactive. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 10 talking points. No, yung studying concepts, 10 talking points on how we can study smarter. Studying smarter and studying hard and studying smart are two different things. Meron pa nga studying long, eh. Okay, spending the whole weekend, all the weekends, kasi takot sila sa biochem, spending all the weekends to study for one topic. That is not really actually studying smart, and we will see later on. How we will see later on. So what we're going to do is this you have 10 talking points or 10 study tips, and we have three types. So we have three types of discussion. So Dr. Ruby and Dr. Eric, can you show your thumbs up and thumbs down? Sige, thumbs up. Gato, ha? Thumbs up if they agree. Okay, thumbs up if they agree, and thumbs down if they don't, and they will say why. Ha? They will say why. Kasi you have a lot of myths in studying smart, eh. Okay? Then we have another is A versus B. Sige. So Dr. Ruby and Dr. Eric, no, kung if they choose A, they will show A and explain why. Okay. Sige. Yan, dalawa lang naman yan, Dr. Ruby. A and B.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a free for all, ha? Free FFA.
Yeah.
Free for all thoughts. Ayan, ba? Print pa. Okay. A and B. Thank you very much for the effort. Okay. Anyway, then after that, no, that's the side of the teacher, no. That's why I invited Gab here. No, Gab just he graduated from biochemistry in kailan ba last month? June. No, June, you had your finals in June, right? So that's only 3 months away, no? So he's the best person. Ay, hindi yan totoo. Sasabihin niya. No. I told him to be as candid, right? Kasi parang guys, no, Gab here will be representing you. You will be him to a year from now. Okay? You'll be him a year from now. Hopefully all of you will be successful. Okay, so that is our format. By the way, if you think that somebody will have a great use for this for the insights that you'll be going, kindly share this or smash the subscribe button or boop the like button so that it will reach more people. Okay, no, so that is our 10 talking points. So when I was in college, when I was in med school, we have always these two, three, or four classmates. Now you don't see them studying, right? You don't see them studying. They're watching movies all the time, or maybe they go to bars, etc. You don't even see them studying. I think Dr. Eric is one of them. Okay. Then you take the exams and kita mo, grabe ang taas ng score, di ba?
He
Parang
aces the
nahiya pa,
exam.
hindi pa pinnerfect.
Study.
Alam ko sa batch nyo, Gab, meron yun eh, di ba? Okay. Parang tinatanong natin, are they aliens ba? Are they supernaturals? No, maybe they are just a product of their habits. No, Aristotle said that 90% of everything we do is the result of our habits. Now, maybe if we do change some of our habits, we will be like them, right? We're not expecting, or your parents naman, or your professors are not expecting you to get an uno or to really succeed. Maybe for a lot of people, no, for a lot of people, and I've met a lot of students, just passing biochemistry is enough victory, right? So, kung natatakot kayo sa biochem, hopefully, no, hopefully, I'm praying that this session will really be a lot of help. Okay, so Dr. Ruby, Dr. Eric, are you ready? No, you don't know what the what the
Yes,
talking points are. So, sabi ko
we
kayo
do.
nervous. Just just speak
No
from your heart.
idea.
Okay. Pero
Yeah.
you've been teaching. I think Ruby, no, I know you for 25 years now. We know each other since I entered Biochem. From 27 years of teaching ka na yata, right? And we experienced
Uh,
this, no? A lot of students have been asking us, Doc, paano ba mag-aral? Tapos we will learn, and through these years, we'll learn siguro what things will work and what things will not work, right? Okay.
mm,
Anyway, so the first ito, I'll explain this, okay? The first learning topic is this, no? Yung active learning and passive learning. I'm sure you have an idea, okay? When I used to give the first lecture, no, I sort of give a short segment on how to study in medicine. And what students should really avoid is passive learning. You know what passive learning is? No, yung some people will call that pseudo studying, eh, parang as if doing something. No, you have your book, no, you have your Harper, your Leninger, you keep on reading. You just read and read and read. You just highlight or underline. Then the next time you're going to highlight it using a ball pen, right? Then the next time different colors. Okay. That is not active, no, that is just light reading, just highlighting, underlining, or repeating the text over and over in your head. That really takes a lot of time, and that will not really work. Okay, so active, I think you have an idea na, kasi if I've explained this, I'm sure you'll have your answer, right? um so let's start with the younger one. Dr. Eric, what can you say about active and passive? Maybe some tips to our students.
Okay, ako kasi initially passive ako ang approach ko. Why? Because gusto ko makita ko, ma-highlight ko lahat. Para I have that psychological feeling na kailangan matapos ko itong chapter.
Thumbs up, thumbs down pala, sorry. Ay, hindi, choice pala, A or B? Sorry. Sige,
Dapat
we're new to this.
my choice is A,
A, okay.
active. Pero I'll explain. Okay.
Okay, sige.
For me, I have this psychological feeling na kailangan ma-highlight ko yung handout or yung chapter. Kahit hindi ko ma-absorb lahat, pero kailangan I finish it na natdaanan ko siya. And then the active learning na yung susunod. Kasi nasa stress ako kapag natatagalan ako dun sa isang part ng topic. Tapos hindi ko siya maintindihan eh. So parang feeling ko nasa stuck ako doon. Whereas pag nag-passive learning muna ako, iba-browse ko siya ng mabilis. Kahit parang makuha ko lang yung mga outline and then yung mga words. So parang it's actually low yield, but it gives me some sense of completion. Tapos tsaka ako mag-active learning. Pero I don't do it na passive lang tapos never na mag-active learning. Kasi pag medyo masipag-sipag ako, I need to read twice kasi hindi naman ako talaga photographic ang memory. So yun, isang passive first and then active yan. So kung kaya pa ng isang susunod na pangatlo, swerte na lang. Pero usually yun yung strategy ko. That I remember. Pero ngayon puro passive na lang eh. Kasi di ba when we read ngayon, ano, bilis na. So, yun. Yun sa akin.
Thank you very much, Erica, for Doc Eric for that insight. Okay, from Dr. Ruby.
Oh yeah. When we were students, I just have a few years ahead of you, Noel, right? But we are used to having our textbooks. That's why we are used to passive learning. So I tend to highlight everything, di ba? Different colors pa. First reading, different color. And then second reading, underline. And third reading, if there's still time. Like Eric, no? Chine-check ko lahat ng words which I think are very important. So for me, I think a very good preparation on the topic is really passive learning. And even now, I tend to, you know, I retain more if I read. If I read, no. So that's just my point of view from somebody who's older than
Than all of us.
everyone else.
Hopefully not in the world, older than all of in the world. Okay, or those watching. Thank you very much, Dr. Ruby. Then we'll have Gab, no? Gab, siguro Gab will be more in touch kasi with the technology. Before naman during our time, wala tayong choice eh, 'di ba? Books lang eh, 'di ba? Or wala pa nga yatang
Yeah.
Xerox nun eh, right? Wala, books talaga or yung mga pamphlet or what, no? You have copy it longhand. Anyway, Gab, no? Maybe you are more in tune with the technology now. Okay, sige.
Ano naman po sa akin, Doc, for me personally, with the subjects such as biochem po, I think I do agree with Doc Eric and Doc Ruby that we all begin with passive learning po eh. And with the, tama din po kayo na with the current generation now that we have more access to different information. So at the palm of our at the palm of our hands po. Sa tingin ko po ang strategy ko dati before with Biochem was pag hindi ko po siya naiintindihan, I would watch the lecture and this is what I praised with the Department of Biochemistry before kasi what the Department of Biochemistry does is that they upload the lecture. So that's our first watch. The second watch that we have is yung mismong lecture po, and then we have a lecturette. And then what we do after is papanoorin namin naman siya after po bago po magkakaroon po ng quiz. So basically there's what we call yung tinatawag natin na parang spaced repetition. So nare-repeat po talaga siya sa amin. So I really admire that aspect as well. Pero for me kasi active learning really helped, lalo na sa isang subject kagaya po ng biochem that's very information heavy. So it's important that you also ask yourselves different questions. Iisipin ko, paano ba magtanong ng question si Doc Bao? Paano ba magtanong ng question si Doc Eric, si Doc Ruby? And it's also helpful din po kasi the SGD itself, the format of the SGD is actually active learning din. They're asking us questions, and lalo na kapag yung facilitator also ask questions that you do not expect, that also forces you to mas actually po sa totoo lang po, mas marami akong na-retain sa SGD. Mas naalala ko yung cases before kasi kasi it's like the clinical application na po in contrast to listening to a lecture. So I think it also helps. So both po, but more on the active learning.
Okay, thank you very much, Gab. Not to just I'll just put in some of my thoughts. Okay, I do agree. No, I tend to agree. I think we have a consensus. No, you don't have really any choice. No, but what I really advise students is before the lecture. No, before the lecture, they should not enter a lecture parang without knowing anything at all. No? They should have an
Yeah.
idea at least what the lecture is. Right. I think you tend to agree na Ruby na Doc Ruby na
Yes.
you have to siguro before kasi we use handouts but we don't have
You have
handouts
to
now, no?
you have to
But
prepare really, right, di
right.
ba?
So we have a schedule, no? Your department, di ba, release a schedule for the whole shifting. So for example, the lecture is amino acid chemistry, chemistry of amino acids and protein. What you can do is siguro sabi from my readings, no, you just browse through it, no, or you do a passive reading, no, yung basically di mo maintindihan, no, and don't highlight everything na parang eventually magiging painting na siya, di ba? Different for the word, different for the description, the not so important, different color, di ba? No, wag naman. For to be able to migrate to active learning later on, you just highlight the keyword. You just highlight the keyword para pagdating na shifting exams, pagdating ng finals, nakikita nyo kasi the brain is trained, the brain is trained to remember things that are highlighted, eh, 'di ba parang memories nyo, 'di ba naalala nyo talaga yung pinaka-prominent, etc. Okay, so yung active, I did some research kanina, no, and I watched some videos. I prepared for this. Yung active learning really is making connection to the lectures, no? Hindi lang nakikinig ka, okay, ang ganda ng suot ni doktora, ganyan, ang ganda ng ikaw, etc. But making a connection to the lectures. Eventually, after the lecture, no, you form examples. Tama si Gab, no? You ask questions, no? You ask questions to you or kung sa SGD, you ask your facilitator. Tapos you give meaning, no? You construct meaning from the material. No, what is the purpose? Why am I studying? Why should I know that aspartic acid is acidic, right? Siyempre acid siya, no? Or why is cysteine acidic? Kasi pag acidic siya, if it's acidic, it will be hydrophilic, right? If it's hydrophilic, it will be oriented outward. You put meaning, ha? You put meaning. Ibig sabihin eventually, biochemistry naman is, everything will be connected, eh. Everything will be connected. So you start connecting things na. Okay? Active learning is also understanding over memorization kasi when you memorization, that's rote memory, di ba? Gab, it's not really that productive. Pagdating ng shifting
Yeah.
exams, you will again memorize, etc. And identify what is important and you give more emphasis on that. Sige, no, I think so. I hope guys it's clear now what is active and what is passive. So I think we're ready for the next. Dr. Ruby, Dr. Chongson, are you ready? This is
I
this
think
is I
so,
think
yes.
is okay. Sige, you just tell me thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay, thumbs up or thumbs down. Especially in biochemistry, everything is important. Ay, med school yan. Kung hindi mo inaral yan, your patient might die. So you have to study everything. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Let's start with Dr. Ruby. Nagulat ka. Thumbs down. Why? Why?
You have to, you should know how to filter what is really important. But I know you, from the student's point of view, I know from the start you don't know what is really important, right? That, I guess that's where passive active learning, especially active learning, in the course of your discussion, you will tend to filter out what is important, right? So
Sorry.
I'm not saying that you don't study. You just have to emphasize on what you feel is important, and through the course of, your life in medicine, you will be able to decipher what is important, right? You study to become a doctor, you study to become a good doctor who will treat patients. What do you think is important for you to become one like that?
Okay. Thank you very much. Doc Eric.
What's your Eric? I'm curious about Eric's answer. Sige, ay ko na.
Cerebral yan. Cerebral yan eh.
Cerebral yan eh. Cerebral
Agree.
yan.
Not everything is not everything is important. Kasi if yun yung mindset ninyo na lahat important, magpapanik ka. So mas-stress ka eh kasi you will tend to memorize everything. So hindi dapat yun ang mindset. There should be more important things than the others. So that ang mindset mo, I need to prioritize because time is limited, di ba? Time is very limited. So, pag isip mo, everything is important, pantay-pantay lahat ng babasahin mo. And then, you tend to put everything inside hanggang maubusan ka ng space. While kung ang mindset mo is not everything is as important as, hindi equal, not of equal importance, nag-work yung mind mo. It continues to search for the more important ones. Pero ito ang tip. As you read more, as you read again, more things become important, di ba?
Things will reveal themselves. The things will reveal themselves.
The enzymes will reveal themselves. And the substrates and the products. Yun yung mindset. Dapat your mind is ready to prioritize. Kasi pag inisip mo important lahat, hindi na siya hindi na siya mag-order ng things. Hindi na magkakaroon ng order sa sa thinking mo. Yun lang.
Thank you, Doc Eric. Okay, thank you for that insight. Okay, Gab, what can you say?
No, for me, I do agree po dun sa sinabi po nila kanina. And ang reality po niyan, parang nung sinabi po niyang everything is important, I think like everything is important, but the reality is walang med student na kaya mag-aral ng lahat ng mga bagay. And
That's true. That's true.
And I
I
think po
agree.
I think one of the lessons po na natututunan ko from my different facilitators, ayan, si Doc Bao tsaka si Doc Chongson. Ang natututunan ko po sa kanila is to also seek the connections with the other subjects. I really appreciate noon kapag nagkakaroon po kami ng mga SGDs that I actually tend to connect it with physiology. Hindi ko po inaaral yung biochem alone. Parang iniisip ko, parang saan ba to nagko-connect dito? Kasi sometimes these topics will actually, tama po yung sabi ni Doc Eric kanina, it will reveal these important informations will actually reveal themselves kasi paulit-ulit sila sa different subjects. Like how do you actually utilize them? So I feel like everything is important, but you will not study everything. Kasi po parang not everything will be taught to you in the lessons. In fact, yun nga po yung sabi ko kanina sa SGD, and in fact, mas natututo din ako kuminsan din sa mga different experiences. Like, pag nakikinig po ako sa mga ginawa sa clinic, ganyan. Parang, I remember, okay, this is important kasi minention to ni Doc Eric. Like, for example, sa renal po, sa topic ni Doc Eric before. Si Doc Eric, dati sinasabi niya, oh, this is the emphasis on this. Tapos, pag inaaral ko kung paano magpa-exam dati si Doc Eric, tapos iniisip ko, okay, ganito mag-isip si Doc Eric. Ito ang
Mahirap, no?
important.
Oh, yeah.
Yung mga first year students sa warning nga yan.
Doc
You
Eric,
know,
sorry
Sorry,
po.
go.
I agree with Gab. You know, when I was a student, and as I am studying or reviewing for a test, I would ask myself, if I were the one to make the questions, what kind
Exactly.
of questions will I ask? So I will formulate questions in my mind. Yeah, siguro ganito itatanong to, ganyan. And don't you find it effective, Gab? 'Di ba effective siya?
I do find it effective po kasi yan din po sinasabi ko sa students ko before. Sinasabi ko
Yes,
sa
right.
parang ganito nyo isipin kung paano magpa-exam si ganitong sir, ganitong ma'am. Tapos parang ganun po, Doc.
Yeah.
Okay, sige. I'll try to be specific. Okay, so I agree to all of what you said, that you cannot humanly study everything, no, unless
You
you're
have
super meron kang
memory or
super superpowers ka, right? So you just have to sift through information, eh. Kaya nga 'di ba Dr. Eric, what we tell our students is this: you should attend lectures. Kasi as professors, we know what we will ask, right? What we will ask. So we keep on emphasizing. Ako
yes, or
kulit ako, 'di ba, sa
yeah, this
professor.
is important. This
Paulit-ulit.
is important. Yeah.
Bakit si Dr. Ruby paulit-ulit? It must be important, okay? So listen what is emphasized during the lecture and you take it down. Pero ito ha, specific example for biochemistry. For example, I used to lecture the nucleotide metabolism. Okay, yung de novo synthesis of purines. You have 10 steps. You don't have to memorize each and every step from first to 10. But you can if you want, ha? Pero you don't have. So ang tip ko, lagi ko sasabi sa students, you study pathways and their corresponding enzymes, or reactions and their corresponding enzymes, maybe on 3 or 4, or 3 on 4 emphasis. So for example, you always study the rate limiting step. Di ba, Dr. Eric? The rate limiting step. Kasi that's important kasi marami pang mga tanong dyan, eh. No, yung mga positive effectors, negative effectors. Tapos if there's a committed step, you study that. Then, and usually yung last step. Okay? So for
Yeah.
example, yung sa marami yan, sa Krebs cycle, etc. No? Sa Krebs cycle, medyo important lahat. Pero yung mga hindi syadong importanteng pathways, right? You just study the most important, kung ano yung ina-emphasize. Kung hindi minention ng lecturer, it's not really that
It's that
important
important.
in his or her opinion. Hindi niya tatanungin yon unless he's a sadist, no? Pero in the department, they don't. We usually ask the most important. Kung ano yung kailangan, it will have emphasis later on in your clinical subjects. For example, in diabetes, etc. Di ba? So that's that. So you prioritize on the things your professors want you to know. So please, yung passive learning is siguro watching a video before the lecture, no? Yung nga is uploaded, eh. You watch it. 'Di ba? Ina-upload sa Blackboard. You watch the lecture miski hindi niya masyadong intindihan. Passive lang. ganun pala yun. So, ganyan-ganyan. At least you have an idea, right? Then, during the lecture, papalabasin pala yun yung second watch yun na yan, then there's a lecturette, right? There's a lecturette. Dun yun na you take notes, ha, children? You take notes kasi you pay particular attention to what your professor has emphasized on and what your professor keeps on repeating. Just like me, I keep on repeating. Oh, remember this, when you hear that, that's a keyword na yan. Oh, remember that, this enzyme is ganyan. That's a keyword. Okay, so nice. Okay.
And
So
also,
thank
'di
you.
ba? Oo, yung mnemonics. Mnemonics are very, very helpful. 'Di ba?
Ayan,
You
si
create your
Agree.
own memory aid, create
Oo,
your own mnemonics.
mistress of
Yeah.
mnemonics
Agree.
yan si Dr. Ruby.
I have so many mnemonics.
Namin
Yeah.
mnemonics. Okay. Sige. So thank you. No, so next, wait. So let's go to the banner. So next is ito medyo na to. This is contentious. Okay. So I divided this into two. Although ngayon hindi siya dong effective kasi may lockdown nga, right? Pero siguro
Oo.
when the lockdown is over, hopefully, no, knock on wood, during our time, 'di ba, time natin, Dr. Ruby, wala pa namang Starbucks noon, 'di ba? Library lang, right?
Library.
Pero
Yeah,
ito,
library.
Doc, kasi meron sa akin nagtatanong before, Doc, ano mo mas maganda sa bahay ba or sa coffee shop or ganyan, group study? We'll go to the group study later on, yung group study or solo flight, etc. Sige. Sino ba ngayon? Si Doc Eric. Doc Eric.
For
Home,
most,
okay.
pero may disclaimer ulit ako mamaya.
Oo.
So kasi
Sige.
sa akin, pag talagang kailangan mag-aral, ma-save yung time mo ng, syempre pag pupunta ka pa ng coffee shop or library, mag-aayos ka pa, hindi ka naman pwede lumabas na hindi ka
Nakasando.
sa society. Di ba? At ngayon, pandemic, talagang home yung choice. Ano? Pero ang sinasabi ko is, if you are pressed with time, talagang kailangan yung home mo or yung dorm mo is conducive for studying. Kasi, admittedly, hindi ka naman pwede yung naghahanap lagi ng ibang lugar to study. Kasi nandyan ka nag-rent ka kung malapit ka sa UST or sa university mo. So it means na dapat yung pipiliin mong place is conducive for study and of course for your safety din. Lalo pa ngayon, hindi naman mawawala agad yung pandemic. Although, nagkakaroon ako ng anxiety. May mga anxiety attacks ako minsan pag ang tagal-tagal ko nag-aaral sa bahay. Like yung sobrang habang oras. If halimbawa sumusobra na ako ng 3-4 hours, minsan I need to have a break na makita ko yung ibang environment. Sometimes sa coffee shop or mas gusto ko sa coffee shop, ayoko sa library Hindi ko alam na claustro ako sa library. Sa coffee shop, gusto ko yung may mga strangers, pero ayoko na may kasama. Well, we will go into that later, di ba? Gusto ko lang yung idea na madaming tao, pero dapat hindi ko sila kilala. Kasi ayoko makipag-usap. But I need something. Kailangan mag-feel ko may ibang mga gumagalaw dyan, nagsasalita. Pero I'll talk about it later sa another session. Pero most of the time, dapat yung bahay muna or yung dorm mo very conducive for studying. Otherwise, it will defeat the purpose, no? Kung magre-rent ka man or kung mag-stay ka sa bahay ninyo, hindi naman pwede na kailangan talagang you have a quiet space at home din talaga. It's the secret. Okay.
Sino
A
na?
or B, Dr. Ruby, ikaw na, oo.
Syempre me, I'm a traditional person, home, no? I cannot choose B kasi nga during our time there's no coffee shop. Pero yung home is the best place to study. You need to have a private place just for you, big enough to have to not to have so much clutter, but not too comfortable. It should not be too comfortable, no? 'Di ba kasi you're there to study. Don't look for naku, mainit, kailangan may aircon. Naku, dapat malambot yung kama ko. And don't study on while lying down or reclining on the bed.
Yan.
Have some, put a study table, a sturdy chair, etc. And then I will forgo B because for me, I cannot imagine myself studying in a coffee shop. I will just tend to stare at people. And yeah, our library, Noel, you remember our library? It was a very good place to study kasi
Right.
they provided
Individual tables, right?
individual desks na parang
Desks.
ano siya, parang may, if I remember right, may
May bakod.
barrier ng konti so that you'll not get distracted, with people, or hindi ka babatiin, or your back is towards them. So yon. So the best place to study is at home.
Oh, we love you, Dr. Chongson.
May
Okay,
shout
sige,
out.
sige.
Shout.
Shout out. Okay, Gab, sige, your thoughts, and I'll give my thoughts. Tapos yung isa siguro mas contentious yung next. Okay, sige.
Opo, for me naman the environment actually does matter pagdating sa learning kasi according to several studies din po kasi parang parang the environment actually i-associate mo kasi some of the memories that you make because of the environment. Ako naman po as a person dati talaga gusto ko talaga home. Kasi po sa home, tama din po yung sinabi ni Doc Eric kanina, like you could mabilis po siya. It's just that you have to have discipline within your home. Tama din po yung sabi ni Doc Chongson kanina na do not study lying down, do not study na parang hindi ka nagde-dedicate ng place for learning in your homes. But the problem right now kasi with our generation was hindi na kami ganun ka-expose sa library and then sa coffee shop. So we have to simulate some of the
Right.
experiences of the coffee shop and the library within our homes. Tapos din po, I think it's also helpful din. I think one of the issues din po kasi ngayon sa online learning is that there is no delineation of time na. There is no
Right.
delineation of class hours and rest time. And kasi kung minsan and this is honest to goodness po, baka ngayon lang po ito nare-reveal po sa mga doctors natin. No? Pero kapag po kung minsan may klase tapos talaga hindi na kaya ng estudyante na mag-aral, kung minsan matutulog na siya, yan na yung kama, ganyan. Pero
We know.
yun nga po, tama po. Tama
We
po yung
understand,
sinabi
we
din
understand.
kanina ng mga panelists po natin na we have to set also the healthy boundaries and discipline. Siguro mahalaga din po yung change environment kasi gaya nga ng sabi ko, 'di ba parang the learning actually is also sometimes attributed with the environment where you're learning. So kung safe na kung safe naman pwedeng lumabas-labas and then find a certain place in your home na hindi ka sobrang madidistract. You have to build that environment. Like for example, my room, I really built it na hindi po siya sobrang madidistract. But if ever that you are more disciplined, let's say for example na na-emulate mo, for example, yung parang yung library. For example, sa amin po sa AMSA, we have this Discord channel where sabay-sabay kami nag-aaral and then bawal magsasalita. But we have to see each other studying.
Right.
So, yun.
Wow,
So, parang,
okay. That's
That's
effective for
adaptation,
you,
no?
huh?
That's adaptation.
Oo.
Okay.
Oo.
opo, kasi wala nang coffee shop ngayon, wala nang ganyan. Parang, we have to push ourselves. Na nakikita ko, nag-aaral si ganito na student, dapat ako nag-aaral din ako. So, it's a healthy competition din. And wala mang delineation ng time, at least you are aware that you are in it with another person din. So,
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Gab, Doc Eric, and Doc Ruby. No, my thoughts here is actually it's personal, right? It's personal, no, where you can be in a state of flow, no, where you can have just the optimal conditions to help you focus. Pero ang sabi nila, if you're at home, you avoid this distraction. Baka naman kasi may mga chismosa sa kapitbahay, di ba? Tapos or utusan ka ng mami mo or what. 'Di ba? Pero dapat clean desk tapos wala yung mga aso, 'di ba? Minsan yung aso ganyan lalaro, etc., 'di ba? Pero if it can help you if it can help you study, why not? So it's really a matter of personal choice. No, tapos yung social media notifications, 'di ba? Kung dati kasi telepono, 'di ba? Ngayon wala na kasi
Oo.
telepono, dala-dala mo na siya. Kaya actually, so that's that. Wala naman. So it's actually a matter of personal choice, right? Kung saan ka concentrate talaga. Pero yan nga, parang this is the perfect segue, no, to the next, no, to the next. Solo flight or group study, no? Solo flight or group study. Dr. Chongson, Dr. Ruby, parang you have, parang meron na akong clue, no, kung anong sagot mo dito, di ba? A or B? Siyempre 'no?
Eh,
Kasi nga
yeah, we um well, I don't have anything against the group study, but the thing is, if you get used to group study, what will happen will be sometimes you get very dependent on other people. You will not exert so much effort for yourself kasi sasabihin mo, ay magpapaturo na lang ako kay ganito kasi this is before pandemic. Papaturo na lang ako kasi hindi ko 'to maintindihan. Siguro 'pag kinuwento sa akin 'to, maintindihan ko siya, right? But when you study solo, you're just studying for yourself. So you have to make sure that you understand the important things, yung ganon. You don't depend on anybody. However, ako no, yung group
ikaw
studies
yata.
also group studies also a healthy way of learning. But ang group study is a contribution of everything. You don't go there na para kang parasite na ano
Right.
na lang, turuan nyo na lang ako kasi hindi ako nakaaral. Not like that. You should be prepared to contribute. No? Yun. So, sige, back to my answer is A.
Dr. Eric.
Ako din,
Me
solo ako, no ifs or buts. I don't believe in
Group
group
study.
kasi ang tendency mo is either nasa-stress ka na kasi ang dami nilang sinasabi na hindi mo na
Dami sinas...
or you're trying to grandstand and nakakagawa ka ng ng feeling of dun sa ibang kasama mo. So ako, pwede naman, pero hindi talaga. It's just the 10%. Pag nagkita-kita kayo, halimbawa, nasa pila na kayo nung pagpasok na ng room, o doon kayo magtanungan, pero yung gagawin mong method to study the topic, yung group study, I really don't.
Hindi siya effective if yung like the day before the test kasi we used to hold group studies before the night before kasi when I was in first year I was living in a dorm tapos eto na pag kami test sa biochem the next day sa gabi sinusundo ako ng yung mga okay, let's have group study ako naman. Okay.
Ikaw ang malakas ikaw ang lodi
Hindi, tapos biglang oh no, parang ang handouts nila hindi pa nagagalaw and all. Parang you call this a group.
Hindi yung group study. Teach us.
Add ko lang, sa biochem kasi, parang you have to have this imagination na hindi mo makukuha sa kanya kasi you have different way of stacking.
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Sa mga practical exams, doon I think group study may help.
Mas effective yon.
Halimbawa, yung mag-identify ng mga bones, ng mga foramen na yan. Kasi sometimes, kahit anong basa mo, pag may mas experience yung yung ka-classmate mo, it will save you time. O ito yung di ba? Parang kasi pag nagbabasa ka ng handout sa anatomy, minsan ang dami-dami sinasabi pero hindi mo pa ipakita yung butas. Pero pag ang kasama na alam na niya, it helps. So, I think depende rin sa subject. Pero for most of study courses, I think solo talaga. Don't group study your main method.
And don't rely on other people, to teach you, right?
Sige, Gab, some words.
Sa akin naman po, never go to a group study without solo study first.
Correct. That's right. Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Yes, dapat may contribution ka.
Yeah, that's actually that's actually something po that I live by, Doc Tiongson, kasi po yun parang, and I learned this nung graduate school sa masters before. Sa masters po kasi, never ever go to class na hindi mo binasa yung material kasi you will not be able to recite and contribute. Sa graduate school po kasi, ganun kasi, the professor is not the one who is talking lagi. Tapos, it's your classmates who are always butting in. Pero for you to get the grade kasi, you have to recite. For me, maingay po kasi ako mag-aral. Alam po ninyo, ako po kasi pag nag-aral po ako, lagi kong sinasabi, ganito yung enzyme substrate, ganito, ganyan. So, I feel like depende din po kasi sa learning style mo. Like for example, ma-Feynman technique ako, like I teach it to a hypothetical self na ganito, tapos na-identify ko, teka, hindi ko alam yung substrate na nangyari dito. So, I have to watch YouTube again, have to watch Doc Bau's lecture para makita ko yung nawawala dito na concept. So you also have to be very honest with yourself kung hanggang saan yung hindi mo kayang hanggang saan yung naaral mo, hanggang saan yung hindi mo naaral. Kasi parang mas mape-pressure. Tama po yung sabi ni Doc Eric kanina nung face-to-face dati sa pharma. Parang pag naririnig ko na alam ng kaklase ko yung ganitong topic tas hindi ko alam, wala lang, mape-pressure lang ako. Tas ma-execure lang po ako. Tas pagdating ng exam, ano lang, parang doon naiikot yung utak ko sa alam nila. Hindi ko na maaano yung, na alam ko pala to. I think it also, Doc Eric was also ang ganda din po ng sinabi kanina ni Doc Eric regarding depending kasi actually sa subject yan. I feel like anatomy and histology are more of group study sila kasi you cannot be honest with your own tissues, your own body parts na ganito ganyan. So you also have to listen to others, and what we actually did before, what some of our classmates did before, like our PT po, we had the study night and it's a game night. Kahoot night po siya ng anatomy. So it was games kami dati. So
it was helpful, very helpful.
It was helpful. The group study was helpful. But in terms of, I think for biochem nga po talaga, I think it's more of for ano po siya siguro, active recall and solo po talaga siya. Kasi you really have to imagine it by yourself eh. Although what we do now po, yun nga po yung kagaya po ng sinabi ko kanina, what we do now sa AMSA, pinopromote ko talaga sa AMSA po. May Discord channel po kami, and what we do is what we call Pomodoro. So may nagpa-flash po sa screen nila ng timer. And then ang gawa po namin doon, naka-mute po kaming lahat, pero naka-on lahat ng camera. So nakikita ko, ay nagte-text si ganito, ay ganito, ganyan. So nakikita ko po na parang yung time na 50 minutes, we all have to study. And then for 10 minutes lang kami pwedeng magchikahan, magtanungan na, uy, anong sinagot mo dito, ganyan, or paano ganito. And I think it's also helpful to have a balance of solo and group study right now in the pandemic kasi it's very easy to feel alone. So I feel like group study is also beneficial to some extent. But again, it depends po kung saan aaralin.
Okay, thank you, Gab. I did some research kanina, no? I did some sleuthing around. And most experts say that there's nothing wrong with group study, pero ang sabi nila there should only be a maximum of 3. You plus 2 others. Kasi sabi nila pag 4 or 5 baka magchikahan na lang kayo or baka it will be distracting. Okay, you look it up. Tapos you surround yourself with greatness. Parang it might be harsh. Okay, it might be harsh. I don't want to be politically incorrect. Don't be a blind leading the blind. Dapat meron sigurong someone who's great na who will lead the others. Kasi kung ano ba to, hindi ko din alam. Wala sa inyo nakakaalam. Parang there's no benefit on that. Okay, so maximum of 3, tapos you surround yourself with greatness. Ayun yung term na ginamit. Show me your study mates and I will show you your grades. Yung pa yung isa pang quotable quote. Okay, surround yourself with greatness, somebody that can pull you up, and show me your study mates and I will show you your grades. Tapos a maximum of 3. Okay, ito kasi parang there's the next topic, the next talking point is contentious kasi depende rin sa personality. Do you have a strict schedule or yung novel stimuli? Novel stimuli, yung parang you will wait for the Holy Spirit to inspire you so that you'll study. Yung strict schedule naman, at 5 o'clock, I'll wake up. At 6 o'clock, I'll have breakfast. Tapos, I'll attend the lecture. Then after the lecture, gantong oras, gantong araw, very strict naman. Parang ano siya, pulls apart. So, Dr. Ruby, so are you A or B?
I am A, definitely. Where's the camera? There. I am A. Oh.
No, sure. A ka. Okay.
I get no explanations needed. I'm really A. I have to follow a schedule.
Doc Eric?
A din. Actually, pag mga study na yung mga long exam, talagang naka-time ako na kahit hindi ko matapos yung biochem yung yung itong oras. Tapos nag-time na, I need to move on to the other subject. Kasi nasisira yung schedule. Ang gagawin ko na lang, I need to compensate. Kailangan medyo mapabilis yung isang topic or yung isang subject kung gusto ko pa siya mabalikan. Kasi kapag dinelay mo siya ng dinelay, walang mangyayari. Yun lang, if strict ka sa paggawa ng schedule, dapat you have to follow it
To
Follow
strictly.
it. Yes.
stick to it.
Because
Stick to
otherwise,
it.
it will defeat the purpose.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Gab, siguro ano.
For me po schedule din po kasi you cannot afford to focus on on only one subject on this time. And you cannot afford to focus too much on one subject kasi sa med school po kasi parang you really have to organize your time and budget your limited resources in such a way that it will benefit you. I don't think pwede naman novel stimuli pero I think po talaga lalo na ngayon din ng pandemic you also have to schedule din po talaga.
Okay, from what I read, no, from what I researched, okay. Yung ganda talaga yung strict schedule kasi that will help instill discipline, it will facilitate productivity and ward off procrastination. So it's a crucial step in achieving your peak flow. So yun yung active learning, etc. Kasi sabi nila if you fail to plan, you plan to
You
fail.
plan to
But some
fail.
we plan to fail. Sabi naman nila, pag if it's ano naman, if it's managed daw, siguro sa mga yung mga left-sided ba to, right-sided, yung mga medyo artistic type, it can help in recall, no? Yung varying time, varying the location may sometimes improve recall and retention. Saan ko nga ba 'to nabasa? Alam ko nasa Starbucks ako gatong madaling araw 'to. It can help. Pero siguro nga I do agree. I do agree, no? You should really have a schedule. Pag may schedule, hindi naman siya on paper lang, right? You have to
You have
stick
to
with it.
follow it strictly. Yes.
Okay. Sige, itong number 5 siguro we can skip on this, no, yung best source of
Oo.
information during the pandemic. Siguro si ano na lang 'to, Gab na lang kasi we're out of
Mm.
touch, no, kasi, if you siguro, what did you do lang kasi 'di ba when you were in first year, you were totally online, 'di ba? Hanggang naman ngayon, 'di ba? Anong pinaka-source of ano mo? Ano yung sequence mo? For example, you're going to attend a lecture Monday 7 o'clock. What's your sequence lang? Kunya, just for us to have an idea.
Ako po more on the online lectures po siguro kasi uh, with the time that we have I think depende po sa subject kung saan ka talaga yung magbo-book ka talaga but then sometimes you can also benefit with some videos din like explainers and the recorded videos din na ginagawa po ng mga departments natin like for example what I did before may study technique in okay lang naman po sabihin ko anatomy no sa anatomy ang ginawa ko before bago ko po papanoorin yung lecture po nila I just have to know ano po yung topic na yun. But I will watch it first sa ibang YouTube channel. So I would watch an explainer or I would watch something that will parang isotho mo yung frozen knowledge. Parang
Right.
palalambutin muna yung knowledge na yun. So that when you watch the video of anatomy, meron kang guidance na ito yung i-expectin ko for this one. And then doon ko na-generate yung questions. I think the best source of information for me was the online lectures, specifically yung mga YouTube lectures kasi it helps po like with the animations,
Right.
with the mnemonics, parang it helps guide you kung ano yung i-expectin mo. And I also did it with Biochem po before. There was one lecture na medyo matagal po siya. So what I did before was I watched first the biochemical pathway in online tas yung big picture. So hindi ko napanood po yung lecture nung professor natin sa Biochem. But then when we went to the lecture, okay, ito yung sinabi dun sa YouTube video na yun. So it has to be parang repeated po. Pero I think embryology yan, kailangan mong mag-book dyan. Histology, kailangan mo, parang magbabasa ka din talaga ng book doon because of the different information na parang medyo specific yung visuals. Ayun po.
So for biochemistry, what's specifically, no, kasi we're discussing with biochem. So what really helped to you was watching the video that was uploaded before the lecture, di ba?
Yes
Miski
po.
mabilisan lang, right? Miski mabilisan. Then you attend the lecture. Para yung a lecture, that will be your second reading, no? Kasi we're in a different paradigm na. Okay, may discussion dito later on. Okay, pero ito, sige, this is a perfect segue, no? Kasi dealing with technology. How do you take notes? Okay. Siguro this is not applicable to us, no, Dr. Eric
Oh,
and
no
Doc,
more.
kasi
Let's ask
hindi
Gab.
natin naabutan. Yung during our time, wala pang internet, di ba? Wala pa yatang hindi, may computer na siya. Pero wala pa internet. Gab, ikaw, what do you think? What are your pros and cons against laptop, tablet, note-taking? o yung longhand pen and paper. I have my thoughts later on, no? Yung I did some reading and they have ano. Sige,
Opo.
what do you do? What do you do personally?
Ako po
What do you use?
personally, longhand ako kasi kahit po yung mga tips ni Doc Eric kanina, tinitake note ko po lahat. Yung mga tips din po ni Doc Tiongson, tinitake note ko lahat. Kasi parang sabi ko, I feel like this is a very good learning opportunity. And it has to do with muscle memory din. The studies actually show that sometimes the way that you move, or if you associate different information with what you did and what your muscles are actually doing, it actually solidifies a certain knowledge. The laptop and the tablet actually has a different has a
Right.
faster component to it. I think nakakatulong siya if you want to be really fast with it. Pero kasi sometimes it's really a battle of quality versus quantity of knowledge eh. Meron at meron ka kasi po na mamimiss out meron kang mamimiss out kapag naglonghand ka na pen and paper. Pero pero kapag naman po tina-type mo lahat, parang sobrang passive lang because you're typing
Very
everything
good.
na sinasabi
Right.
ni na Doc. But what I did before was naglolonghand po ako, and then my book is open, or my ebook is open in a tablet. And then what I do is I'm not just writing the information, I'm writing questions. Anong tatanong ko kay Doc Chongson ngayong araw? Like if you notice po no sa biochem natin, ako lagi yung tanong ng tanong.
That we
Ako,
appreciate that, Gab,
thank
ha?
you.
Yeah, we
Oo nga.
appreciate
Puwede pang
that.
live stream.
Opo. Ako po yung yung lagi pong tanong ng tanong po before kasi like parang I really want to it's a blessing already to be able to study medicine in this particular time and to be mentored by really good doctors. So parang
Oo.
I'm writing down these insights, but I'm also writing down may questions. Kasi habang sinusulat nyo po, you have time to listen, to see, to act. Sometimes even the smell of your paper nga, it's weird. You remember what is the smell of the paper. So I feel like we have to stick to the basics po. I think mas nag-work sa akin longhand. Actually po lahat ng subjects ko ngayon may notebooks. May
'Di
notebooks
ba?
pa rin.
Oh,
Old school,
wow.
old school.
Yeah, yeah.
Naka-notebook
Okay.
pa rin po sila, like ito yung in-emphasize ni facilitator. So parang ganun.
Okay, very very good, Gab. Actually, you echoed what I was going to say, no? Kasi they say if you do laptop typing, parang sa Legally Blonde, napanood niyo ba yun? Di ba lahat? Di ba kaiba siya nagsusulat tapos yung may iba nagta-type. It might be faster. It might be faster, but it's a passive way daw of taking notes. Parang you are just like a transcriber. Parang in a way it reflects a passive way of thinking. Pero if you take notes by hand, no, with pen or paper, or sabi nila a compromise is a tablet with a stylus, no, yung mga yung iPad, yung Apple stylus, etc. That's the best compromise kasi when you take notes by hand, no, you write slower but you emphasize important information. And when you write, di ba, Gab, as what you said, you're already rephrasing and
Yeah.
organizing your own words. That's
Yes po.
part of learning that will improve recall. It has been demonstrated that in order to improve recall, because of increased motor coordination, di ba? Galing-galing ni Gab, no? So,
Opo.
so I think sometimes old school is better, no? We have to say that because we're not
But I
necessarily old, no? Pero, sige, Gab. Sige, tuloy.
but I also have to emphasize, and I also tell this to my students po before when I was, kasi po ako sa pharmacology before when I
Masugat.
was teaching it. Po board and pen kind of teacher ako, hindi ako PowerPoint. So sabi ko sa kanila, this is the way I remember things because I write things down. But I emphasize to them na you don't have to write everything that I say. Kasi baka po sobra yung attention mo ko minsan with what you're writing down, but you're forgetting something that your tawag dito, that your professor is telling you. And I think it's also important for us doctors for us future physicians po to realize that, kasi sometimes also when your patient is talking, you also don't have to write down everything. You just write down parang what po yan, napanood ko yan sa Med 1 sa interview ni Doc Chongson. Active listening skills.
Existing pa pala yun.
Existing pa yun, Doc. Sobrang helpful
Yeah,
po.
your you should be very attentive, no, to
Opo.
what your patient is saying.
Yun lang po, Doc Bao.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Gab. The next actually is we don't need, I think all of us will be of one mind here, yung multitasking. Bibilisan ko na lang, di ba? Siguro all of us will agree that you cannot study two subjects at the same time or you cannot,
Correct.
ang point dito, you cannot do two things at the same time. If you study and do another thing, it will not really be, you're not on your peak flow. For
Productive at
example,
all.
ang pinaka-point dito yun sa nabasang article, um, multitasking, it does not automatically mean efficiency, no? Studying two subjects at the same time. Kasi in the 2012 study, no, in the study done in 2012, they had two groups of students, no? Yung may multitasking tapos yung isa talaga, yun lang inaaral niya biochemistry at that time. Mas mataas yung grade nung students who are not multitasking. And multitasking is not only having to study a lot of things at the same time, but yung social media. Yung social media, yun yung ano nila eh. Kasi 'di ba if you study, ang problema if you're studying in a laptop that's connected to the internet, what happens? Nag-aaral ka, tapos ting, may notification ka, oh, besh, kamusta? 'Di ba? Di wala, napatay na.
Maraming tabs na
Sige nga,
nakabukas.
kwento mo nga habang binabasa ko tong Krebs cycle. Sige, kwento mo, besh. Sige, Mars. Sige,
Ano na
binabasa ko yung
yan?
Krebs cycle, ayun yung succinyl coenzyme A, etc. O ano, tapos ano nangyari? It will never work. Kaya sabi nila, if you need your laptop, you close all the apps. I know it will take some discipline, right? Pero anong gusto mo? You're connected to the world or you will pass biochem, di ba? Yun lang ano eh. So you eliminate the apple, not that Eve, no? So in other words, you eliminate the temptation. Okay, yun lang naman. Ito. Ito medyo kailangan na explanation, no? Yung distributed practice versus mass practice. Okay, so I'll explain this, Or
Mm.
maybe, are you familiar with distributed practice and mass practice? Distributed practice, since 1932 pa, is a technique whereby the student distributes his study effort in a given course over many study sessions that are relatively short in duration. For example, hindi, sige, mamaya ko na yung sabihin yung thoughts ko, okay? This is compared to mass practice, otherwise known as cramming. Hindi, sige, sa quiz ng Biochem, 4 o'clock ng Wednesday yan. So mag-aaral na lang ako ng Tuesday ng gabi, all-nighter ako. So sabi ko sa students that will never work, okay? I think this is, we will have a common answer here, right? Pero
Yeah.
siguro you can add your thoughts, Eric, on on
Hindi
ay
ko
yung term
magaling
dyan na
mag-craft.
distributed practice.
Hindi ako magaling
naman.
mag-craft. Ingit ako dun sa mga magagaling
Ako din. I cannot. I cannot. Hindi ko
Kunyari
talaga
lang yun.
ma-master ang
Kunyari lang
cramming.
yun.
Totoo lang.
Hindi.
Sa totoo
Pero
lang.
kunyari lang yung sinasabi nung yung mga matatalino, ay hindi ako nakapag-aral, mag-aaral na lang mamayang gabi. No, actually, siguro ang suspicion ko, distributed practice din sila. Nag-aaral na yan everyday. Tapos sabi, ay hindi ako nag-aaral. Tignan mo nga, laging ako sa time namin, bilyaran pa or something. Pero pag
Pero
taas lang grades. Hindi, pero mahirap nga mag-cram. Saka in biochem, this is what sorry Erica, sige, before I forget. If you got away in passing your pre-med course by cramming in med school, it will not happen. Di ba, Gab? I think you'll echo this later on. Sige,
Yes.
Eric, sorry. Continue.
Ano pa ba? Hindi, ako lang siguro for the students out there. Ito kasi yung time na ang daming binibigay sa inyong time to, especially sa first years, sa mag-dwell on the basics. Kasi once na i-take opportunity nyo yan, magiging thankful kayo in the future. Kasi para magkakaroon kayo ng magandang map in your mind where to anchor everything that is clinical. And ako, I feel appreciative of my practice kasi na-imagine ko yung yung cellular basis, especially syempre I'm an endocrinologist, so naka-tie up talaga ako sa metabolism eh. So parang it's for me, parang bliss na pag nakita ko yung patients, pag mineasure yung waist circumference niya, I'm not just seeing the waist circumference, I'm seeing the fat cells and the
lipid metabolism
that's happening in that particular So parang yun yung yun yung para sa akin na important. Bakit nyo siya kailangan ibigyan ng ganung gandang attention and distributed? Huwag nyo siya i-cram kasi babalikan nila kayo eh. And gusto nyo kayo Ganyan, diba? And you can say na, alam ko yan. Hindi ako pwedeng dyan, mawala sa concept map lang. Hindi mo naman matatandaan lahat pero at least pag may nakita ka sa clinical na ganito, may naglaging merong correlation. Hindi yung parang oo, alam mo yung BP niya, alam mo yung niya, heart niya, sounds or lung sounds, pero pag mo, kumbaga yung x-ray mo, yung vision mo, hindi mo na makita yung yung subcellular structures, yung mga different concepts. 'Di ba? Ang ganda nung nung feeling na it's not just the superficial, hanggang depth of the tissue and cellular structures na appreciate mo as a doctor, 'di ba? Yun lang.
I thank you. Dr. Luby, although,
Yeah,
sige.
well, just like Eric, hindi talaga ako marunong mag-cram. Sorry talaga. Pag yung, yung given the short time, hindi pwede sa akin yung, ay, mamayang gabi. Just like what you said, your example. No, so to the students then, you're given ample time. Like, you know that there's a schedule of the exam. Do not wait until the last moment na you will cramp up everything, all the topics. So it's best na yun nga parang siguro yung mga technique ng mga ibang students, they study one concept at a time. They master it. Like for today, I will study this topic, tomorrow another topic, and then the last time, no, the remaining time, no, in your preparation for an exam is just parang going back yung ano na ba yung mga naaral ko before. It's not like first encounter lang sa lahat. Very hard, very hard. So, yung practice not cramming. Okay? So, you learn to not cram. Pwede ba yun? Yun.
Pero ngayon
Okay,
pwede
thank
na
you.
mag-cram, di ba, Doc? Pag-graduate na.
Nagiging estudyante din naman kami. So, resourcefulness, but it's not synonymous to cramming. You
Ako,
have to. Oh, sige, go.
ako iba sasabihin ko mamaya kasi ako puro cramming ako ng
Ay,
estudyante pero later na yan. Okay, sige,
As
Gab.
you get older, Gab, you will master the art of efficient
yung prioritizing lang, yun. Pero that's not synonymous to cramming. It's not still.
Hala, parang feeling ko po lecture po ninyo sa akin yun eh. Kasi ano po. Hindi, kasi personally po, ako kasi, ang dali ko siguro ma-preach siguro na parang maganda po kasi in theory for me yung yung distributed practice. I think kailangan ko pa siyang i-practice as a discipline. Kasi hindi kasi siya by thought lang na this has to happen. It's actually an art by itself. Studying by itself is an art, and you have to love studying as well, but it's actually pretty hard po. Pero I agree po na ang ideal practice po talaga yung sa distributed practice. Distributed practice in a sense that you know na ito ay binigay sa'yo, so you have to parang reread it tonight, and then you have to have an active recall of this. I think that's I think useful po yun for some for a lot of concepts na inaaral namin ngayon sa second year, because you can only build the foundation if you really remembered it and if you really understood how it was used. You cannot do that with cramming, and I must attest to that kasi there were some aspects of my med education nun pong first year, lalo na sa mga fourth shift, yung May, yun pong May, ako sa mga nanonood natin na students, May is mayhem. Sabi ko, May is mayhem yan mga doc, kasi po, sobrang yan, fourth shift.
Sabay-sabay,
Opo, fourth
sunod-sunod.
shift, fifth shift, magkasabay, tapos yan yung time na may Fisho Music Video, may NutriFest, may Zumba Anatomy, lahat ng videos noon, ganyan. So parang I felt like cramming I feel like hindi po siya maiiwasan, but it's not really going to be helpful in the long run. I feel like I remembered the second shift and third shift better. For me po, the renal, the the respi, the gastro, the immuno, and then yun pong pathways po, that
Cardiac.
is ay, opo, sa cardiac. I remembered it better kasi it was the time po na parang nagbi-build ka talaga ng study design, ng study techniques mo, and then nadi-distribute mo talaga, tapos tapos you also have the encouragement pa. Pero yun pong mga, I think yung mga topic ng fourth shift, to be honest po sa akin, very heavy ang nutrition, kayang-kaya mo naman siyang aralin, pero ang dami din kasi niyang information and I crammed it. Sorry po kina Doktora Dakis, hindi ko na po maalala yung iba. Kasi krinam ko po talaga yun. So, love you, Doc Dakis.
Okay, just a few words, and I'll give some practical example related to biochem. Ang practical application daw talaga ng distributed practice is maybe just devoting even at least 30 minutes, no, to kunyari nag-lecture ngayon, you devote kasi ang ginagawa na ay kasawa naman itong kunyari lipid chemistry. Saka ko naaralin yan, no. The best ang saying yan is repetition is the key to remembering. Repetition is the key to
Mm-mm.
remembering. Repetition is the key to remembering. You cannot, this is what I always told my students, you cannot, it's very, very difficult, hindi naman siya impossible, but it's very, very difficult to pass a biochem quiz by studying it for the first time the night before on a Tuesday night. So what I tell them is to distribute your studying. Ang ano dyan, ang four phases yan, you study, you rest, you retrieve, and you retain. So what you do, you have your schedule. No, you have your schedule. For example, you have your enzyme, no, kunyari enzyme chemistry. Kunyari on a Monday, what you do is the video is uploaded. Di ba? You uploaded it before. So you just breeze through that, no, yung basahin mo, at least you have an idea what the discussion will be. Then during the lecture itself, it will be shown again. So that's your second reading na. No, before kasi kami books Pero yung watching a video, that's your second reading na. Then there's a lecturette, no? Yung lecturette, the lecture after the showing of the video, that will reinforce. Parang third ano na yun. Tapos the concept of this is what? On the same day, siguro natapos kami. So no matter how tired you are, or manonood ka pa ng K-drama or what, no? Or siguro nasa kaupo ka sa trono or what, you read, maski 30 minutes, no? You read what you have studied, your notes, no? That will be your third reading. Tapos the weekend after, ang ano niyan is, at the start, it is spaced near each other. Di ba? Before the lecture, during the lecture, then the same day, it's spaced near each other. But as you go near the exam, it will be spaced farther. Kasi the weekend na, no? The weekend na. Then the next na pag-aaral mo na yan is on the Tuesday night. That will be your fourth reading. So by the time, what used to take you the whole night, an all-nighter to study, for example, yung carbohydrate metabolism, 'di ba? Ilang topics 'yon na meron pang glycosaminoglycans, etc. If it will take you the whole night, if you did this, no, you space it intelligently, you spaced it, it will just take you 1 hour, 2 hours. Tas, oh, mga besya, matutulog na ako. Ha? Tapos
Oo,
ka na?
master ko na kasi, 'di
Hindi,
ba?
antok
Yeah.
na ako pero sa totoo lang, alam niyo, antok na ako kasi yun ang secret. Remember what Einstein said, kasi cramming, di ba? Cramming. Sa medicine, gagawin ko yan, no? Tapos you expect a different outcome. Di ba what did Einstein say? Doing the same things again and again and expecting a different outcome, it's insanity. So children, no, you're at the best point of your time. You're starting a school year. You're just going to have your first quiz on Wednesday. No, first quiz on Wednesday. This is the first time. Doc, medyo nahuli na ako Pwede habulin mo na lang, no? Weekend bukas sa Sunday. Then you change your habits. 90% of what we do is what? No, is based on our habits. No, cram pa rin ako, tapos magtataka ka na nakakapit ka, no? Nakakapit ka dun sa 75, 'di ba? Base 75 na pala ngayon. Gab, 'di ba? Base 75 na pala ngayon. So,
Yes po.
children, no, that's our siguro pinaka take home message ko talaga dito, no, yung no matter how difficult it is, no, you master all the discipline that you can. Okay, so you go into distributed practice. If you're used to mass practice and you got away with it in college easily,
It's not.
iba ang medicine, iba ang biochem. Alam ko, no, my pre-med was chemistry. We took amino acid chemistry in 3 weeks. 'Di ba yung kayo, ilang oras yung lecture nyo? 'Di ba 3 hours?
Yeah.
Kaya it's different. So when you do this, no, it will help process the information at a deeper level. Deeper level yan. Hindi yung, kasi sabi nila pag karaming rote memory lang yan Tapos pagdating ng shifting exams,
Wala
magka-cram
na
ka na
ulit.
naman, right? Wala,
Wala
wala na
na ulit.
ulit, no? Parang pasok labas. Okay, so I think that's that. Ito, medyo ano to ha, ito ha. I have my thoughts here. Pero yung sa inyong dalawa, hindi kayo marunong mag-cram. Ako, mag-crammer ako, pero I learned my lesson. No? So don't follow me. Don't follow me, children. Okay, ito. A or B? A or B? Oh, Doc Eric.
Saan na ba yung
If you're going to study, what will you study first? The hard topics, yung ayaw kang mahalin? Ito, wala pa tayong hugot ngayong gabi. O yung madaling
Akala ko,
mahalin?
I really can't remember, pero tingin ko ano dati, easy topics muna. I need to have that sense of accomplishment na konti before magkaroon ng momentum. Kasi pag sinimulan ko siya na nahirapan ako, tapos parang mawawala na ako ng momentum tsaka ng gana. So, I'd rather kunin muna yung topic na tingin ko. Alam ko na siya, pero
parang Doc Eric, parang mahirap mahalin ng ayaw magmahal sa iyo, parang gano'n.
Yun. Parang two topics siguro na medyo tingin ko maintindihan ko, tapos pag meron ng konting confidence, saka ako naharapin.
Kasi sabi nila pag hard topic may energy ka pa, tapos yung ganado ka pa, di ba? Anyway, sige, Doc Luby. A or B?
Would you believe? A.
Oh, di ba? Sige,
unahin ko muna ang hard topics kasi yung it will fuel you up, 'di ba? Yung parang ano ba 'yon, yung parang warm up na rin yun eh. It's like when we exercise, I take stretch and tone exercise. I take Pilates exercise. So when we do that, the reps are done right and left. So yung aming instructor, uunahin yung side mo na mahihirapan ka, so that when you go to the other side, kunyari, you have a hard time balancing on the right, uunahin niya yon. So that when you're done with that, paglipat mo na doon sa kabila, it comes out easy na. No? So parang just aligning it with this. Ako, I study the hard topics first.
So, para hindi namin ma-imagine yung topics na exercise, can you show it to us?
Hindi.
Sample ko, Doc. Ano po yung Pilates?
De, at our age, yung it's a good substitute to yung parang hardcore na cardio workout kasi you burn more calories off the topic na tayo. You burn more calories, you burn the same amount, and then you achieve the same amount of flexibility, etc., with lesser injury. You're not prone to injury, etc. Yun. So yun, that's my question. Medyo that's my thought on this.
Okay, sige. Gab, tapos I'll give a specific later on. Sige, Gab. What ikaw personally by experience?
Sorry po, segue lang po. Nung nakita ko po yung heart, akala ko po usapang love life na tayo.
Yun ba ang pin-repair mo?
Yung easy topic, madaling ang easy topics madaling mahalin di ba? Masarap aralin, masarap pakisamahan.
Pagka hindi mo masyadong pinaghirapan, madaling makalimutan. Hugot din yun, di ba? Hugot yun. Pag pinaghirapan mo, talagang nagre-retain talaga sa'yo.
Opo. I have to agree with Doc Eric po on this. I think mas important na ma-feel mo muna yung sense of reward. Kasi that's also scientific, I think, na that your brain actually there's actually a theory in psychology we call the Pygmalion effect. Like we often encourage our students, and pag ang students po namin ang students natin minsan sinasabihan natin na, oh, you're very good at this, you're magpapakitang gilas po sila dyan, and I think that's also the way our brain works. I feel like kapag nakuha ko po halimbawa yung easier topics first, I feel like it fuels my mind to say na, uy, kaya mo yung mga next na topics. But I think the problem po kasi with going with the easy topics kasi is that sometimes and this is my advice to my fellow to my next batch, yung batch 2025, and also with the others na nanonood sa atin ngayon, I feel like study the easy topics first, but do not dwell with the easy topics. Kasi if you know it already, there's no retention anymore. You will not retain something. Tama din yung sinabi ni Doc Ruby kanina. You will not retain something that there is no difficulty in trying to get back. Pag hindi mo pinaghirapan na i-recall yan, hindi siya talaga magsistick sa mind. So I feel like easy topics first and then go with the hard topics. But then there was a certain advice din po sa mga athletes before. Parang ang sabi din nila, parang sa training daw noon ng mga nagbaballet, yan na pilates kasi tayo kay Doc kay Doc Tiongson. Sa ano po ang sabi daw nila doon, kapag daw nakukuha na daw ng isang athlete yung isang routine daw, if the athlete is about to get the routine daw, yung daw coach po nila, ililipat sila sa bagong routine. So parang nakaka-frustrate siya, but in a sense, parang nabibuild po yung muscle memory na you don't reach your maximum potential muna, pero kailangan you have to move forward every time at a certain interval bago mo babalikan yung yung something. Kasi if you master something first, parang wala kang retention with the other skills. So I feel like you have to move. So, and also ask questions. I feel like ganun po.
Okay, thank you very much, Gab. Nawala ata si Ate Ruby nalaglag. Anyway,
Pilates.
ito I have a practice of Pilates. I have a sa akin for me to conditional. This is what I told my students before. If you have a limited amount of time, for example, sabi natin medyo cramming na this weekend na lang, no, you have your first quiz on September 1. Kailan ba yung Wednesday? Hindi po wala ka pa naaral. My advice is start with the easy topics. What? Ayan na. Nandiyan si
Yeah,
Dr.
sorry.
Ruby. Okay, welcome back.
I got cut off. Sorry.
Yeah, we
Alam
noticed.
mo,
It's okay.
Pilates kayo, Doc.
Nagpalit ng outfit.
Okay, ito. Sige, for our first year, usually I don't know kasi before we used to give the breakdown, no. There's a give from a former teacher in USC Medicine. Your exams in Biochem is distributed according to the number of hours. Hindi siya yung kagaya sa pre-med natin, for example, sa chemistry. If you have 5 topics, bakit ang concentration nandun lang sa 2 topics? Walang tinanong doon sa 5th topic. But in medicine, in Biochem, no, we're talking about Department of Biochemistry, we give the questions according to the number of hours. Di ba, Dr. Tiongson? Meron niyang may breakdown yan. You ask your facilitator. Baka magalit sa akin mga facilitators. Pero ako, di ba, Gab, I give the breakdown. I give the breakdown. You ask your facilitators. And I think siguro we can... Doctor, I forgot to mention pala in the introduction. Dr. Erick is the subject supervisor. No? He was my successor. The subject supervisor of Biochem. Siguro Dr. Erick, it's prudent that you give the students the breakdown, di ba? The breakdown. Maybe post it in the announcement. Kasi gato yun, if you're cramming, you look at the topics that provide the greatest number of points, that is the least difficult. Kasi that will be high yielding What if you have a 20-item quiz tapos 5 items lang doon, napakahirap na you started studying the hard topics, naubos yung buong weekend mo. Saturday, Sunday, yun lang 5 points lang Tapos paano na yung mga madadali? Hindi mo man nabuklat, di ba? So if your time is limited and you think that you cannot finish them all, you concentrate, you zoom in on the topics that will provide the greatest number, kunyari 3-hour lecture, tapos yung medyo hindi syadong mahirap. Kasi that will be higher yielding. But again, if you have enough time naman, depende, no? It's a matter of personal choice rin. Kasi yung iba gusto challenge di ba? Ito, mahirap to. Ito muna aralin ko. Pero yung mga iba, I think I'm with Dr. Erick. Madali muna. Kasi, kung madali muna, tapos na yon. Sigurado ka na sa points na yon. Tapos, kung hindi mo natapos yung mahirap, miski na maaralin mo, mali pa rin naman ang sagot mo, di ba? At least, no such hard feelings. Okay, ito. Baka hindi pa to alam ng mga bata. Ayan. Ang medical student na nagigipit sa Samplex kumakapit. Okay, ano ba yung Samplex?
Ano
yung Samplex? Hindi alam ni Gab kasi matalino.
Ano yung
Samplex?
Sige. Ang Samplex, yung mga sample exams of previous years. Okay? Do they have a role? do they have a role? What do you say?
Yes,
Thumbs up or thumbs
definitely.
down? Sige, ikaw na muna.
Ano po
Sige.
yan?
Doc Eric. Doc Eric,
Well,
sige. Ikaw na.
I should,
Sige.
ako, aaminin ko na, talagang, medyo may role talaga yan sa buhay natin. Well, pero ito lang ang sabihin ko sa mga students. Iba-iba kasi kung ang role ng Samplex sa buhay ng tao, di ba? Pero do not depend on that for your, for your source of learning. Ako siguro, may mga students kasi, they want to have Samplex para makita nila yung parang roadmap or yung mga weight ng mga important na topics. At the same time, may strategy sila paano magbabasa. Kasi alam nila yung how questions will be formulated or asked. Tapos naman, may role din siya sa end kasi nga, parang siya, post-test mo. Kasi syempre, baka hindi mo ma-construct sa mind mo kung anong mga questions yung magaganda. No? So, Samplex at least, it will help you na parang ma-post-test ka. And also, yung iba, doon nag-note sa Samplex. So, I also do that before kung maganda yung Samplex na yun. Feeling ko complete siya. So, nandun na rin yung notes ko para isang tinginan na lang, di ba? Kasi pag ang Samplex, inaral mo siya, hindi lang yung question-answer. Pwede mo kasing mag-notes bakit malito? Kailan siya magiging tama? Ano yung meron dito na bakit siya sobrang important questions? Ano yung mga variations ng questions na to na pwedeng gawin, di ba? So, yun yung mga role sa akin ng Samplex. At syempre, ang pinakamahalaga, pag nagipit ka, kakapit ka talaga sa Samplex. At saka, it's a sense of parang, isipin mo ako there are times na grabe yung aral ko. Talaga aminado ako na inaral ko siya, pero hindi ko nakita yung Samplex. So, parang isang classmate ko.
Sama ng loob mo, no?
So, kaya sabihin mo yung na yun, yung agony na yun, tingnan mo na, nandyan pre-provide na sa'yo, di ba? But don't depend on it. Yun lang naman.
Thank you very much for that beautiful answer, Dr. Okay, contestant number 5. Dr. Ruby.
Sige, before I give you my answer, mag-explain na muna ako bakit yun. Yun nga, I agree with Eric, it depends on how you're going to use the Samplex. Yung Samplex, if you will treat it as a reviewer after you have studied, then this will be a very useful tool. Pero kung yung kakapit ka na lang kasi hindi ka na makaaral, ito na lang, memorizing mo. Just like what Dr. Judilyn Uy said, do not memorize the answers. Yun yung sabi niya, no? Do not memorize the answers but understand why it is the correct answer and why the others are wrong. Kasi when you look at these are questions which were asked in the past because they are important topics. So, most probably these concepts are still important at this time. Kaya you can focus your study on that particular topic. Aralin mo, maybe matatanong yung topic niyan pero in a different light. At least you understand this concept top to bottom, in and out, kahit bali-balik ta rin, naintindihan mo, no? So yun, kaya ganyan ako because but it will depend on how you will use these Samplexes. So
Kasi
I don't call
nila,
this
di ba sinasabi nila, masama yung Samplex, bawal yan, di ba?
Hindi, it's how you use it. Siguro don't call it a Samplex, you call it a reviewer o yung ganon.
Sample exams. Samplex.
Ganun Kasi we don't repeat questions Pero yung wala namang mawawala na if you refer to the past exams, just so you can have a feel on how this topic was asked or something like that. Yun.
Thank you very
Very
much.
nice. Nice No, ganda ng comment ni Dr. Judilyn Uy. Yeah.
Controversial question. I'm really surprised po that this was brought up kasi kayo po mismo ang mga namin ang mga professor.
Alam naman namin yun Alam naman namin yun.
Although parang bad word siya, di ba?
Yung exam,
Alam naman.
We are not meaning to repeat kasi the questions.
not.
So, alam namin na binalik yung exam sa inyo. So, alam namang hindi magamit natutuwa din kami na nagamit nyo sila for good, for review, and napas sa next generation. Wala na kami magawa. So, ang sa amin na lang is, it's our duty to make sure that when we do exams sa mga susunod na it's not a total replica of the past. Kasi alam namin na merong mga available na reviewers.
Opo. I agree po with what everyone what all of you dear mentors has mentioned, and of course kay din po kay Dr. Uy. I miss you po, Doc Uy. Isa pa po sa mga kompleto na po pala mga facilitators ko ngayon.
Kahit pala in-invite natin si Dr. Uy, bali next time.
Hi po, Doc. I agree po dun po sa mga points po kanina, and I think like Samplexes are actually very useful din in terms of helping you focus on the things that are going to not necessarily going to come out, kasi there are some of us, and sometimes I'm also guilty of this. There are some of us who are actually studying the Samplex, also memorizing the answers, but that's not how we should study what a Samplex is. Actually, the sample questions are actually going to reveal what's on the mind of the examiner. Like for example, and bibigyan ko ba ng tips ang batch 2025? Like for example, meron po tayo si Doc Baon lang po ang gagawin ko example kasi
by all means.
like for example po, si Doc Bao po, kapag may sinabi po siya for example na mga ganitong mnemonics, like sinabi niya yung ganito, mama papa ganyan, sa porphyrin mga ganyan, sa protoporphyrin, sa sa synthesis yan, sa heme, sa
move please please.
Sa po yan, sa fourth shift ba yan?
Heme metabolism.
Third shift. Pag sinabi po ni Doc Bao na ganyan ang mga ine-emphasize niya, imagine mo, lalabas yan sa examination. And most likely, let's say for example, kapag tinignan niyo po doon tinignan ng mga ito advice batch 2025, pag tinignan niyo yung sample questions ng for example ng batch namin, and then makikita ninyo for example yung ganito nga lumabas to sa ganitong lecture, ganyan, it will help solidify your knowledge. And tama din po yung sinabi kanina that we have to rationalize, then we have to look at why they became the correct answer. But if I may advice din sa batch 2025, listen to the lecturette. Listen to the lecturette, not because it's the live lecture of Biochem. Kasi 'di ba, itutulog mo yung recorded lecture kasi napanood mo na siya the night before. Pero yung lecturette, promise po, aralin niyo po talaga 'yon. Makinig po talaga kayo doon. Lalo na po kay Doc Eric. Lalo na po kay Doc Eric sa sa renal, sa ganyan. Naalala ko noon, what I really appreciate with Doc Eric, Doc Tiongson before when I was listening to them, sa lecturette po, nagbibigay sila ng questions and they tell us why this isn't the correct answer. Sabi ko, ganito pala mag-isip si Doc Mendoza. Ito pala mag-isip si Doc Tiongson. Ganito nila kino-cross out. So yun yung tinatry kong i-imbibe. It worked for me kay Doc Bao, kay Doc Tiongson, pero hindi ko po mahanap yung kay Doc.
Alam mo, si Doc Eric,
cerebral kid yan eh. Cerebral kid.
Hala, Doc Eric, sorry po. Pero sabi ko, ano bang gustong isagot dito ni Doc? But because very clinical, and naalala ko, I really appreciate the advice before, you have to focus, kasi baka sa atin kasi pag nagbabasa tayo ng questions, we just read the questions but we forget also the history. Kasi clinics, ang tinitingnan natin agad, lab test agad. Okay, may diabetes mellitus siya, ganito. Itong transporter dapat yung aaralin ko dito. But then may sinabi siya doon sa history. Sabi ni Doc Eric before, tignan niyo yung history ng patient kasi ito yung magiging natin guide for this. And I learned to appreciate that. And I feel like yun ang dahilan kung bakit ako mali sa mga questions ni Dr. Mendoza before. Pero ayun po, listen to the lecturers.
Complex. Yun ang dahilan. Mali.
Doc Eric, sorry po talaga. Hindi po talaga ako nagsasamplex pag kayo.
Walang
Hindi po ako nagsasamplex pag kayo. Pag kay Doc Bao, nagsasamplex ako before. Pero my mistake. Dapat nagsamplex ako kapag Dr. Mendoza. Love na love ko po kayo. Pasensya na po kayo. Ngayon ko lang nasasabi ang mga bagay na ito. Nagtatawanan na lang po tayo pero baka mamaya may hard feelings.
Hindi, wala.
Joke lang po.
Okay, since I was
Pare-
mentioned by
lecture po
Gab,
talaga.
sorry. Okay. Since I
Lecture
was
po
mentioned by Gab, speaking from someone who taught biochem for 25 years and for someone who asked questions for quizzes for 25 years, for me, Samplex really are very useful study aids. Okay? Don't use Samplex as a reviewer the night before. Na pag ito yung tanong, letter A ang sagot this is the sagot. Kasi sometimes
Oo.
what we do is, from experience, I usually ask the same questions, but they are dressed differently. Kasi as lecturers, Dr. Eric, Dr. Ruby know this, there are some topics that are really important, yung mga must knows. We cannot avoid not asking them. Kasi I think now, di ba, just like before, we are instructed to ask 60% high order thinking skills, yung HATS, high order thinking skills, 60%, 40% yung low order thinking skills. Sa high order thinking skills, yun yung mga medyo challenging talaga mag-isip ng tanong. Kaya sometimes what we do is we really have to concentrate on certain concepts, certain topics that we really cannot escape asking, right? So ang mangyayari niyan, that questions, those type of questions will bound to be asked again, but differently. So yung Samplex, for me, what I tell my students is don't study the Samplex before the exam. You study it before the lecture or before studying, ganun, before studying kasi this will give you a roadmap. Sinasabi kanina si Dr. Eric yata, 'di ba? This will give you a roadmap para a concept map of what will be the most important things, yung mga must knows. Pero don't use it as a sole source of information. Kanina may tinanong tayo, di ba? Source of information, books, ganyan. Wala namang Samplex. Don't know. Samplex is not. Pero they are helpful study aids. Okay? Sige. So, one last na lang. Ano na yung mga ano natin. No? So, ito, yan. Sleep is life. True or false? Last na to mga children. Alam ko mahaba na.
Ano ho yung sleep?
Ano yung
Di yan alam ng mga medical students. Do I have to define what is sleep? Sige.
I forgot.
Ruby. Dr. Ruby. Sige.
Of course, no. Sleep is life. You have to re-energize.
Hindi,
No,
ganito ang tanong na lang. Sige, I'll rephrase the question.
How
Choosing
many
between
hours?
sleeping and cramming. Kunyari, ay naku, hindi ako distributed practice. Nag-cram ako pero antok na ako tulog na lang ba ako or magka-cram ako all-nighter? Di na ako papasok ng physio para makapag-exam na ako makapag-exam ako ng Wednesday.
Ang hirap. Relate na.
Kasi may studies may studies ako hindi ko naman papakita. I-relate ko lang yung study. Sige.
Ano?
Sleep is life pa rin ba? Cramming is life or sleep is life?
Sleep is life. Sleep is life. Oo, kasi yung if you have a good rest and then you will realize when yung come exams, everything will come back to you. Kung nag-aral ka before, 'di ba? Kung may na-absorb
Or
ka and
nakinig ka ng
everything.
lecture, 'di ba? Kung nakinig ka ng lecture.
Kung nakinig ka ng lecture,
right.
nag-notes ka before ganyan, everything will come back to you. You may not realize it, but you have learned a lot. Marami kang nandyan sa brain. Lalabas lahat yan.
Kanta ni Celine Dion yun, di ba? Everything's coming back to me now. Anyway. Sige, Doc Eric, sleep is life. Or cramming is life.
Bibigyan ng chance ang kape. Kung kaya niya. Kung hindi, wala na talaga ako magawa. Ano na yan ang tapang na nung in-order mo. Tinimpla mo.
Nanginginig ka na, naantok ka pa rin.
Diba? Mamaya, parang naantok ako. Tapos, hindi ka pa nagkakape. So, hindi mo pa nabigyan ng chance yung...
So, kape muna. Paano ko hindi nag-work yung kape?
Itawid ng 2 oras. Baka naman mapag-uusapan pa yung 2 oras. Diba? Kasi hindi ka nakaaral o magka-cram ka, magkape ka muna, try mo muna, one shot. Kung wala talaga, wala na.
Tapos 'wag na lang
Okay.
ulitin, 'di ba?
Your fault.
'Wag na lang ulitin, 'wag na lang paabutin sa gano'ng sitwasyon ulit, 'di ba? 'Wag na lang you learn your lesson, 'di ba? 'Wag na paabutin sa gano'ng sitwasyon ulit. Oh, Gab, sige ito na last ano na 'to,
Ikaw,
last
yan.
talking point.
Ano ho yan? Joke.
Ano,
Ano
sleep?
Ano
matulog?
mo yan? Sleep. De, joke lang po. Hindi, sa akin, iba po ang answer ko po. Siguro hindi thumbs up or thumbs down. You have to understand your study technique or your personality. Like for me kasi, night person ako. So for me, you just have to maintain the certain hours of sleep kasi hindi naman necessarily 8 hours ang sleep natin. What we want to go for is the quality of sleep, and it's not intermittent, hindi pa tigil-tigil yung tulog. So for example, sa akin po mas na-absorb ko kasi yung information, mas na-absorb ko kasi yung information pag inaaral ko siya right before ako antokin. Pag inaantok ako tapos
Mm.
nag-exert ng effort, I tend to remember it, kaya pati po sa kuminsan it happens to me na kuminsan kahit sa panaginip ko napapanaginipan ko yung mga prof na dinidiscuss nila yon, and then
Hala.
I just wake up po na I just wake up a little bit earlier to try to recall. But then again, you have to honor your own working style. You have to honor your own your own study style, whether it is necessary for you to sleep longer hours, or sometimes kasi hindi yun mag-work. Pero non-negotiable po na kailangan po talaga magsisleep. Pero as a current medical student, I think I'm speaking from idealism. Kasi I'm speaking from idealism kasi mahirap po na na mag-stay awake, at mahirap din po na matulog nang hindi ka nagigilty.
Oo.
Lalo na
Talaga? Pag
kapag
kanya nakaka-guilt trip 'yun? Guilt trip 'yun kung
Oo,
matutulog
yung
ka na hindi ka
nakatulog ka.
nag-aaral?
ay,
Maybe,
opo,
oo, siguro ano na lang, maybe shortened sleep hours, no? As a medical student, you cannot afford an 8-hour sleep every day, 'di ba? Correct?
opo.
Shortened sleep hours. Yeah.
At saka kung yung mga exam sunod-sunod, you will pay for the next exams.
Right,
Halimbawa,
and slept
puyat ka dun sa first day, no? Yun, pag mga ganun ng exam, so yun, hindi ko na-advise yung uubusin mo yung energy mo sa first day, 4 days pa yung susunod na exam, di ba? Kung mga sudden burst na mag-isa lang siyang exam ng week na yon, pwede. Pero yung sunod-sunod, hindi.
Actually, parang you're right. Ang ano dito, pag yung chronic lack of sleep, ang sabi kasi is it will affect the mental well-being of the students, and that eventually can reduce academic performance. Kaya siguro pag yung chronic crammer ka, tapos di ba, paano pag finals? Di ba, Gab, pag yung yung fourth shifting exams, tapos finals, di ba, parang 3 weeks yun na dire-diretso, di ba? So, if you keep on cramming, kaya mo ba? Kaya mo bang kaya mo bang 3 weeks na hindi natutulog? Ang ano kasi nila yung mental health rin eh. Kaya siguro 'di ba, these are really very challenging times. 'Di ba? Yung parang sabi nga ni Gab na nawalaan na yung delineation between school and home eh, 'di ba? Tapos ngayon parang siguro 'di ba you're being asked a lot of things, 'di ba? Dati wala naman yung mga pulse video, 'di ba, etc. So, dito, there was one study, hindi ko na nakuha yung source. Better sleep help rather than harmed final exam performance, which is contrary to most college students' perceptions that they have to sacrifice either studying or sleeping. Sabi nila, kung meron ka naman daw konting naaral, between choosing cramming and sleeping, you need to be fresh eh. Sabi nila,
Oo.
matulog ka na lang. Matulog ka na lang, at least kung bumagsak ka, makatulog ka, 'di
Masaya
ba?
ka kasi hindi ka
Full night
puyat.
sleep.
Oo,
Kasi yung 'di ba
natulog
pag
ka.
ang hirap niyan kung sabaw ka, 'di ba, or yung lutang ka tapos yung actually kung nakinig ka naman ng lecture, 'di ba, tapos nakinig ka ng lecturette, nagsagot ka naman sa SGD, tapos baka nagi-guilty ka, ayoko matulog, eh. Imagine that, 'di ba, kasi the brain needs four things like glucose, 'di ba, the only fuel, then it needs oxygen, yung pangatlo is what? Is sleep. Tapos pang-apat, prayers, no? For medical students studying
Oo,
biochemistry, ang
yeah.
pang-apat diyan prayers, right? Pero sleep
Prayers,
yung
don't
pangatlo.
forget. No.
Sabi nga nung isa, ano ko, yung quotation, dami kong quotes, no? Sleep is brain food. Period. Sleep is brain food.
And then ano
Yeah,
no,
imagine
sabi rin ng friend natin, no, sleep is important for one's mental health. Yes.
Yan.
Our
Expert yan.
expert. Our expert. Yes.
Hi, Doc.
Kaya kami
Health. Saka if I may add din po, kung mapansin nyo, di ba, parang akala nyo wala kayong masasagot pag mga final tsaka compre exam. Pero once na alam nyo naman na during those times na nag-aaral kayo, yun nga yung sabi na, anong tawag doon, Doc Bao, yung piecemeal na aral? Ano ba yun? Yung tawag mo kanina?
Distributed
practice. O, diba? And master.
Diba? Pag nag-compre,
Distributed
kukulat
practice.
ka na ano, ay nasagot ko pa siya, naalala ko pa, hindi na ako
naalala mo yun. Oo.
na-exhaust ka na ng
Right.
ano eh.
Kaya nga eh. You may not realize it eh, pero alam mo yun. Alam mo yun.
Timo, we have an expert here. No, I think I know her. No, Jocelyn Y. Bautista. Oh, sleep is important for one's mental health. Kaya children,
Health.
you cannot, it's unsustainable. Unsustainable. Kaya nga, if you keep on cramming, kaya nga siguro, now is the best time. Like ko sinasabi during the first shift eh, now is the best time to change some habits that might need. Kasi if you keep on cramming, tas expect a different outcome in med school, that's insanity. Okay, I think that's the last talking point. And grabe, kala ko to mga 1 hour, 15 minutes. Pero siguro sarap kasi ng usapan eh.
Sarap po na
Last, ano na lang, siguro mga 60 seconds, last word na lang from everybody. Sige, let's start with the youngest, Kuya Gab. Kuya Gab talaga. Sige, Gab. Sorry.
For me, to wrap it all off, it's a blessing for us to be able to study medicine even at this time. I mean, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of things that you have to consider. Pero right now, I think nag-end tayo about wellness po eh. I think we ended with wellness. So I think it's also important that we take care of ourselves right now in this particular point of our lives sa med school. Sabi nga po ng nanay ko, if you pagiging doktor ka nga pero hindi naman maayos ang health mo. So we also need to advocate for our health. And health is a balance of everything. So balance siya ng social life, ng academics, and it's also a balance also of having good friends to talk to. I think biochem is a particularly heavy subject, but we often tend to forget that that there are a lot of subjects in the future, like for second year, that depends on the way that we study now. It's not only about getting the good grades, but it's about developing the disciplines that the discipline for us to get there. So it's a lifelong learning ang med school. Hindi po siya 5 years or 4 years lang. I think it's lifelong po na we learn. So thank you po sa opportunity. Sobrang natuto po ako sa inyo po, Doc Pao, Dr. Mendoza, and Doc Ruby. Sobrang natutuwa po ako.
Pero thank you very much, Gab, ha? Kasi you're really very fluent, and we got, ako personally, I got a lot of insights kasi from your talking from the student's point of view. Okay, tapos thank you very much. Pwede bang maulit? Pero siguro wala ka ng quiz kinabukasan na MPPRC.
Oo naman po. Tuloy po siya bukas.
Good luck, Ate mo. Pero siguro nag-distributed practice ka, kaya hindi ka magma-mass practice, na hindi ka magka-cramming.
Nakinig po ako nung discussion. Sige po.
Okay.
Samplex ka din.
Ay, opo. Samplex na po ako from Doc Erick.
Kuya Eric, Doc Eric, bro.
Ako naman, yung biochemistry is a blessing for 2 reasons. Number 1, kasi it's a subject matter that I will never master siguro perhaps. Kasi mahirap siya, admittedly. Pero I feel na mas na-appreciate ko yung practice. At the same time, yung hindi ko nawawala doon sa basics. And I have a roadmap of where to find the explanation, yung basis of what I'm doing. Kasi ano nga siya, di ba? It's a foundation. And cellular yung yung approach. So I like it. Kasi yun nga, medyo pagdating sa mga ganyang knowledge, na appreciate ko siya. Number 2, I'm blessed kasi I'm with people whom I think are the best teachers in the UST Faculty of Medicine and Surgery. Dr. Dytuco-Tiongson, Dr. Bautista, and all the rest in the faculty. Kasi parang even nung ko student, sila na yung mga nag-stick sa sa isip ko na teachers, because they molded the basic in me. And until now, sila yung tinatry ko na i-emulate paano maging magaling na teacher. Of course, this is a long process, and I'm very thankful na I get to spend this 5 years with them. Kaya Doc Bao, balikan na. Anyway, yun yung 2 blessings of biochemistry. And as long, I think, hindi rin ako forever na magtuturo, pero as long as I enjoy it and I feel na meron pa akong kailangan malaman and hindi pa ako satisfied, no, I'll still continue to be with the department. So yun yung
Of course.
Sarili ko. Yun.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
for
much.
guesting me.
Thank you very much, Doc Eric, ha? Kasi ikaw nga una-una kong inimbita and you immediately said yes. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, bro. Okay, thank you very much. And of course, the queen of dance of the universe. Magaling magsayaw si Dr. Tiongson nung
Blackpink.
20 years 20 years ago and 20 pounds ago.
Iniit siya sa hangin yan.
Blackpink po yan eh. Blackpink.
Pagbagsak niya, nakatayo.
Blackpink. Na to all the students out there, I would like to commend you, no, especially our first years. You've come this far, and it means that because you are here, you are accepting the challenge. You're ready to face all the challenges. But you should also develop some sort of balance in your life, just like what Gab said. You're in online, you are on in online learning. Hindi nyo na realize you have been sitting the whole day. Gab, totoo ba, di ba? From 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock, you're just sitting in front. Try to engage in some form of maybe a physical activity. No, that's your way of unwinding yourself. You don't have to go out, you just have to do some exercises. Ayun, ako yung advocate ng exercise, no? You diba, si Eric, I see him, he goes to the gym in their unit. So you don't have to go to the no, you can dance, you can lift a few weights, you can do some aerobic exercise for a few minutes. Kasi, yung physical activity na yon, nakaka-reinforce ng inyong brain power. No? So, yung form of unwinding doesn't have to be eating all the time. Hindi naman wag niyo ibuhos sa kain. And then don't forget to pray. Always don't
Yes.
forget to pray. Yun, lagi. Wag niyong kalimutan 'yon. Kasi God is always listening to you. God is always watching you. So He is ready to help you when you ask for help. Okay. Pero don't ask for yung mga prayers na please make me have sana maging 100 ako sa test. Yung maging 100 ako sa test, sana makuha ko yung sagot, yung ganyan. Yung dapat you pray for enlightenment, you pray that your test will be a learning experience, you pray for all the blessings, no? As a student, no, you study to learn. You don't study to get good grades. Yun lang, tandaan nyo yun. Study to learn.
Doc
Thank you very
Chongson.
much, Dr. Ruby. Okay, sige, Gab.
Doc Chongson, baka naman po next year, hindi na lang po Zumba Anatomy, baka may Zoom Biochemistry.
Pwede.
Magaling talaga sumayaw yan, si Dr. Tiongson. Grabe.
Sabi ko, no, 20 pounds ago and 20 years ago yan.
Baka magalit po sa akin ng 2025, nagbibigay ako ng ideas, joke. Hirap.
Okay, for
Pero
my last
explain
word.
mo, sa Zumba
sige,
natin, di ba yung mga insertion
Apo.
tsaka action? Sa amin, yung metabolism.
Tsaka ilang ATP
Cycle.
yung kailangan, ilang ATP yung nagbe-burn, no?
Metabolism.
Mnemonics.
Oo, ayun. Mas mahirap, Gab. You gave us an idea.
Ay,
Oo
Doc,
nga,
huwag niyo
oo
po,
nga.
huwag niyo po seryosohin yung mga ideas
Joke
ko,
lang,
Doc.
joke lang.
Okay,
Joke
so
lang po.
again, thank you very much for there are a lot of things and people that I would like to thank. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank our audience, no, yung mga freshmen or even the others who are watching now. Okay, sabi ko nga, Dr. Ruby, paano ko walang dumating, ganyan, okay lang siguro, miski isa o dalawa lang, basta may matouch lang tayo, may matulungan tayo, miski one or two people, that will be all worth it. And of course, no, from the again, from the deepest of my heart, so from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank Gab, no, Gab, Dr. Chongson and Dr. Eric, no, for honoring me with your presence, with your insights, okay, and with your wisdom as well, and with your experience, okay, and my message for the first year students, okay, and I'm telling this. I used to give the first lecture, no, yung introduction to biochemistry. What I always tell the students, I am telling you now, you are at the best. You are at the best place. You are at the best time of your lives. Kasi you have your whole future ahead of you. You have your whole first year biochemistry ahead of you. Or your first freshman. You're in the best time to make changes, right? If you just struggled in pre-med and you're afraid, okay, you're afraid baka paano tong hirap ng biochem. No, you still have 4 shifts ahead of you. No, now is the best time to make changes. Okay, to make changes. I hope, no, it's my prayer that this live stream with our illustrious guests, no, will help and will touch you, and you find value. Okay, the aim of BiochemSerye is to teach biochemistry, okay, to teach biochemistry to medical students, and to have sessions like this, okay. So to teach, not to empower, to enlighten, to entertain, okay, and to share our thoughts, our wisdom, our insights as well. Okay, so if you have any, for those mga team replay, no, kasi you can watch this in a replay. If you want, if you need, if you can have any suggestions, no, for ideas or topics for a live stream, okay, you can post. No, I can do live reviews. No, I think I'm going to do a live review of ionic properties of amino acids. Hinihintay ko pa. I ordered a mouse pen, hindi pa rin dumadating kasi I have to write. Pero if there's a demand, baka naman wala naman. If there's a clamor, okay, if there's a clamor, okay, so meron tayong ano dito, MSDC, okay. So I will do live stream on that. So again, no, thank you for coming, thank you for watching, no. If you
Maraming
like this
salamat po.
video, if you like this video, kindly, ano nga ba yun?
You know what
Kindly
to
kindly
press.
like, you know what to do.
Like and
You
subscribe.
You know what
you
to
book
press.
Ay,
Like and
kalam,
subscribe.
oh,
Oh,
children first year, we have the pinaka-lodi ng ng first year during this time. Kalam, thank you for honoring us, no?
Karam.
Oh, Karam is
Alam mo,
here.
kung may lagpas sa 100 na grade,
Si Karam
siya
po
yun
yan.
eh. Pero hanggang 100 lang ang pwede. Grabe.
I-guess
Kalam,
mo
thank
nga
you
yan,
for
Doc Now.
coming.
Guest niyo po si
Ano?
Karam.
Kalam,
Tapos
I will invite you sometime.
Siya mag-lecture.
Joseph din.
Malyon.
Oh.
Okay, so thank you for
Joseph.
coming.
Kenneth.
Okay,
Ang
Alex.
dami na.
Alex,
Isaiah
so good luck yan,
Cooper.
from batch 2022.
Kenneth.
Okay.
Oh, ang dami, no?
Okay.
Shout out po
Okay.
sa
Super.
classmate ko sa AMSA na nandito po ngayon.
Oh.
Thank you very much for all the support. Again, kung meron kayong request, no, if there's a need, no, if there's a need for any topic, okay, I'll do my best to curate videos, no, to make complicated topics in biochem more
Oh, meron pang
friendly
isa
or
dito,
friendlier.
alumni. Si Adan.
Saan? Teka, hindi ko makita.
Sige.
Saan?
Ayan.
Okay, sige. So thank you
Bye.
very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless
Bye-bye.
2025.
Bye.
Sige, I'm going to end the
Bye.
breakfast. Okay, the breakfast, the broadcast. Sige.
Bye.
Ay, di nag-click. Okay. Bye-bye.